Can we talk about AI, please? So, I will be the first to admit that when AI kind of came into the mainstream of the entrepreneur, solopreneur world, I was not a fan. I did a couple of first looks at them, especially when it came to like the Canva magic tools, magic, right? Stuff like that. I could see how they're cool. I could see how they were good for inspiration and stuff like that. But I didn't really honestly, I thought it was kinda lazy, and I thought it was something that I would never really lean into in my business because when it comes to the content that I put out there, the emails, the videos, the all of that, any content that I put out, I just thought, well, I want it to be my words, and so I thought, "Well, I'll never use this." And, well, I'm just gonna say it, like, I'm eating my words right now because AI has completely transformed how I manage my business, how I manage my time in my business. Part of how I have managed to completely expand how much content I'm putting out in the world. If you follow my channel, you may have realized that very recently I started being able to post content almost every single day of the week. In fact, I think that's my new goal is like I'm going to have two longer form videos a week and then shorts the rest of the week. And I had tried that before using some of the AI tools like Opus Pro and things like that to find highlights in my long form videos, but I just when I tried them and I used them, they never got any good, like, traction. They felt like exactly what they were, something that a computer just, like, sucked out of my content and, it didn't feel right. One of the people that I'm going to really credit with why I have shifted my perspective on this is Jolene, my co-host for the Success Through Community podcast, because she kind of, like, opened my eyes to just that I was using it wrong, that I was not understanding the benefits and, like, what I could really get out of it. Like, it's not just about telling it, "Give me 30 ideas for Instagram content for my business." Like, yes, you can do that and it'll shoot out a bunch of stuff and, if you do that way, it'll be super generic. If you're using things like ChatGPT or I know the Canva Magic series does this as well, you can give it a brand voice and tell it a little bit more information about you, about your target audience and things like that. But what I'm learning is that by utilizing the same tools repetitively, depending on what they are, it actually learns. Like, I knew that in concept that AI learns, but I didn't really see or understand how that would translate. So, ChatGPT, I started using that a while ago. I had put in, a brand voice and stuff, and I had used it for some inspiration, and it gave me some stuff. And it was like, okay, I'm going to use this. I'm going to toss this because it's garbage. And I didn't really see how it was saving me time because if I'm honest, a lot of what it was popping out as content ideas took a lot more effort and energy than I really had to give or that I was really willing to give. And so then I found myself having to like scrap a lot of it. So what I learned is that the prompt that you use when you're asking tools like, but specifically ChatGPT to do something is literally going to make or break your experience. So if you type in a generic prompt, and I know this is not news to everybody, but this was news to me and so it might be news to you, so that's why I'm saying it. If you just type into it, I am a business owner, I teach women solopreneurs how to use the tech in their business. Give me 30 days of Instagram content. That's good because I'm giving it a little bit of detail so that it's not just going to give me just a bunch of super generic business content. But there's a really important piece that I was leaving out of that prompt. And if you're someone that's using AI successfully in your business, you already know what it is. I have forgotten in that example to tell ChatGPT who it is in this scenario, right? So I'm going to get a totally different response from ChatGPT if I start out by saying, You are a social media marketing expert. You specialize in creating content that gets engagement. Okay. Even that is still kind of generic. But by doing that, it then tells ChatGPT what to focus on, right? It already knows my brand voice because I've put it into the brand voice section, but also because I'm using it a lot and it's learning. There's something that you will notice as you use a tool like ChatGPT, that there are certain times when you interact with it, whether you're telling it, oh, hey, this was a good response, or you feed it very specific information in a prompt, that it will say memory updated. And when it says that, it's telling you that it's actually becoming a better assistant for you. Like for this video that I'm doing right now, when I'm done editing it, and we're going to get to that tool in a minute, when I'm done editing it, I'm going to download the transcript into a doc file. I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to upload the doc file, and I'm going to tell ChatGPT, I'm going to say, you are a YouTube marketing expert. You write great titles and descriptions that are highly searchable and encourage the viewer to watch the video. And I'm going to say, use the attached to write a YouTube description for this video. And it's going to do that. And it's going to pop it out. And it's going to sound a little bit like me already just because it's using the transcript of me talking. And so it's going to base it off of that. But it's still going to turn it into a little bit robotic sounding. And it's most likely, I've noticed it often does this, where it will like highlight the key points in my video with like bullet points. And I don't always want that in a YouTube description. So when I get that back, I will say to it something like, great, make it shorter, remove the bullet points, and make sure it sounds like me. And that last phrase is gold because it has been learning how I talk. It's been learning the way I phrase things and the words that I use, so that then it's going to translate that into, a shorter with no bullet points version that sounds more like me talking, more conversational. And, I felt like, cut to me like before, I thought that was cheating. I was like, but you're not even writing it. You're letting the computer do it. But here's the thing though. If you had a team and you had a human assistant that was writing your descriptions and your captions and whatever for you, then same thing, right? And I'm also not just taking whatever it shoots out at me and saying, okay, copy, paste, boom, done. I'm thinking about it. I'm critiquing it. I'm giving it some direction. And then when I get it to the point where it's really close to how I would say it, then that is what I copy paste over to my Trello card where I plan my actual content. And then I'll go in and kind of just clean it up a little bit, make it sound a little bit more like me and stuff like that. So since I started using specifically ChatGPT in this way, and I don't batch create far in advance because we've talked about that before. I'm not a huge fan of that because I feel like that gets really stale. But I've been able to add the TSA Weekly podcast into my process, which then adds all those shorts that are here on YouTube, and then one or two of them might show up over on Instagram as a reel or story. I'm able to take what I've said in that video, because it's based on the same quote as my newsletter, and take that transcript and ask ChatGPT to summarize or condense that down into that thought section. So it's still all my words, right? It's just I have this assistant now that is repurposing that content for me. So all that to say, that's why I'm kind of eating my words on the whole, like AI is lazy and you shouldn't use it too much in your business. It depends on how you're using it. Yes, absolutely, for inspiration. I always thought that. But if you're using it in this kind of critical thinking way and not just like putting in a generic prompt and doing whatever it says blindly without actually thinking about, does this fit with my brand? Is this coherent to what I'm trying to say, right? You have to look at it from that lens. But if you do that, it can save you so much time. I also use it as a way to research some things. I was researching for this week's TSA Weekly, and I was doing a quote by John D. Rockefeller. And I was wanting to research a little bit of his history just so that I could, understand the context better of why he was saying what he was saying. I wanted to see it attributed to like a specific speech or article or something of his. And I did start on Google trying to find that stuff, and I wasn't finding any results that were useful. So I went to my good old buddy GPT and just said, "Hey, give me the context of," and I put in the quote. And it searched all the things that had probably come up in my Google search results that I didn't get to, and was able to aggregate all of that in seconds to tell me, you know what? This quote is often attributed to Rockefeller, but there's no specific citation where you can see it in an article that he was a part of or a speech that he gave or whatever. It's not like actually there. So, yes, it's attributed to him, but like there is no context other than his life and his business. Do you know how much time that saved me? Just letting this supercomputer do the search for me, and it looked at the same results that I got, but it just so concisely got to the answer. So, I guess what I'm saying is, sometimes we have an initial impression of something, and I'm not saying that impression is wrong at that point, but it's not fully educated. I needed to spend a little bit more time with it other than just, "Oh, this is a cool tool, let's see what it does," and treating it kinda like a magic 8 ball, which I think is how I was looking at it. I needed to actually see it work in action. And just to backtrack for a minute, I had said earlier in this video that it was my co-host that kind of got me thinking that way. And it was because she had generated like a multi-week content calendar for our podcast that was literally based on the books that we have read and talked about in the last couple of seasons. And she generated it in like 30 seconds. And I was like, whoa, 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 back up. How did you get there? What prompt did you use? And it's just started really opening my eyes. I mean, it's insane. So, all of that, and it also has completely transformed how I edit my content. And there will be a further, more in depth, and probably multiple videos on this tool. I know it's not new to those who are in the YouTube and podcasting world, but I just hadn't really explored it until more recently. It's called Descript, and it allows you to edit your content in a totally different way. So if you are doing videos, but you're not comfortable with video editing software, then Descript is 100% what you want to be using because you upload it in, it transcribes all of it. So already right there, that's like so much. But then you edit it like a Word document. You literally edit the text the way that anybody knows how to edit and is editing the video or audio for you. But then on top of that, it also includes all of those tools that things like Opus Pro and all of that are charging extra, let's just say extra for. Now, is Descript free? Yeah, to a point, but you're going to run through it really fast. We are paying for it, but so worth it because not only is it making my editing so much faster, but then it also has the ability to pull out clips from things. It pulls out way better clips than any of those other tools did. It also has layouts that do the auto captioning that you can go in and brand. All of the things like this would be like 4 different tools, like just off top of my head, of what I just described that this one tool is doing using AI. So I guess what it comes down to is don't make snap judgments. I'm talking to myself. If you haven't used a tool for longer than 2 seconds, then explore it a little further if you see that everybody is getting on the bandwagon. Maybe it's worth it. Do I still think that I want to use it in the way of like some of the videos, the commercials you see out there of people saying, like, create a year of content in 30 minutes and it's all AI generated? No, I'm still not going to use it that way. But using it as a copy editor, using it as a virtual assistant that's doing content research for me, that is absolutely saving me time. Most of these tools are still very affordable, if not free. So I'm going to link a couple of them below. Some of them may be affiliate things, some of them are definitely not. But check out all of them, take them for a test drive, see what's going to work for you. But just make sure that you focus in on a handful. Don't spread yourself super thin into every AI tool that exists because then it's not getting a chance to learn from you, if it is even designed to learn. Make sure that you're investing that time in a tool that is actually going to make your life better over time. The online tools for your business do not need to be complicated and overwhelming. It's time to let it be easy.